Hello, pre-calc. So this is really should be a review for you of 6.4 radian measuring things in radians, which I know you were introduced to in A2A. So what is radian measure? So if you look, I drew this little diagram over to the side here where you have an angle that then has a corresponding arc that goes with that angle, and the radius of that circle, part of a circle, is equivalent to this arc length. That is going to represent then, theta will represent 1 radian. So let me put this in words. 1 radian is equal to the arc length that is equivalent, the arc length that is equal to the radius. So in this case, theta here is going to equal 1 radian. So another way to look at it is radians. They do tend to measure arc length. It is going to be the arc length divided by the radius of the circle. And that's why if those two are the same, that equals 1 radian. Now, something else that hopefully you learned in geometry is that if you take the circumference of a circle and you divide it by the diameter of the circle, and it doesn't matter how big or small they are, we know that circumference is usually 2 pi r. Diameter is 2r, so when you simplify that, you get that constant pi, 3.14 dot dot dot. So it's an actual ratio that exists in the world, in anything circular. Every circle then has 2 pi radians all the way around. And we're going to utilize that idea when we do our conversions from degrees to radians. There are 2 ways of measuring the same thing. So degrees measures the angle coming out of the x-axis. Radians is measuring sort of this distance the angle sweeps out as an arc length. So if we want to convert from one to the other, we have this little chart over here. So going from degrees, your given degrees, to radians, you want your degrees to cancel, so you have 180 degrees on the bottom. Because we know that this is at 0, and if we go all the way around, that would be 2 pi, which is the same thing as saying 0 and all the way around is 360. If I went half that distance, half of 360 is 180, half of 2 pi is pi, so we know that these 2 numbers are equivalent distances. They're just 2 ways to measure the same thing. And so pi over 180, 180 over pi really equals 1, but allows you to convert because the units are different. So if I'm going to convert 60 degrees to radians, well, hopefully you won't really need to do this because you should already remember this. But so I want degrees to be in the denominator, and then I reduce. So the zeros go away. 6 over 18 is pi over 3, and that would be pi over 3 radians. If I had 235, now this one's a little less familiar, so I would write 235 times pi over 180. So we have degrees over degrees so that the degrees cancel. And then you can use, hopefully you know how to use your calculator to reduce fractions, or I'd start dividing by 5 and then 5 again, and you're going to eventually get down to 47 pi over 36. And that would be the equivalent in radian mode to 235 degrees. Going in the other direction, I tend to just substitute pi with 180. And that's how I would get it. Officially, if you're going to use your, what did we call these, doing our dimensional analysis and converting, pi over 3. So now I want my pi's to cancel because I want my final answer in degrees. So pi has to be on the down low. And 180 divided by 3 is 60. And again, my shortcut is I usually just substitute 180 degrees here. 180 divided by 3 is 60, and you get to the same place. Pi over 9, same thing. I could just replace pi with 180, and 180 divided by 9 is 20. Or you can do the official 180 degrees over pi. Pi's cancel. Notice we get our 20 degrees that way. All right, so you are going to want to be able to convert one to the other. I would say for this particular lesson, you want to make sure your calculator is now in radian mode. This, we try our best, but you know, sometimes other books are not as precise in this, and sometimes we ourselves are not so precise. But in general, we're going to try and use theta when we're talking about degrees, and x when we are talking about radians. And we will try to be consistent with that. So right now, we're going to be in radian mode. So I hit mode on my calculator, scroll down to radian, and choose that, enter. Okay, so we want to find tangent of 3.7. Since there's no degree sign, since we see no degree sign, that means we can assume we are going to be doing radians. So you're just going to go tangent 3.7 on your calculator, and that should give you 0.625. So if you want to double check that you're in the right mode, go ahead and try that. Then we also can use the inverse trig in radian mode as well. So use inverse trig to find both the radian measure and the degree measure of whose sign is 0.3. So that's like saying sine of x equals 0.3. So in radian mode, whoops, I don't want to write that. In radian mode, I would say x equals inverse sine 0.3. So second sine 0.3, and I get 0.305 radians. And if I want to do the same thing in degrees, well, I'm going to have to change my calculator to degrees. And so now we're going to have sine of theta equals 0.3. So theta equals inverse sine 0.3. And that now, second sine 0.3 is 17 point. Well, again, we're doing, this is an angle, so I'm just going to round to the nearest angle, 17 degrees. Okay? So you're just going to have to start to pay attention to whether you should be in degree or radian mode. That's going to be one of the hardest things to keep track of. Now, what happens if I have to, again, do one of my reciprocal functions, cosecant, inverse cosecant? So remember, the part that is a reciprocal is actually the ratio of the sides of the triangle. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosecant is hypotenuse over opposite. So since I don't have a cosecant button, I can do the inverse sine of the reciprocal, because that would be the equivalent. And again, I'm going to assume here that we are in radian mode, so I have to go back to my radian mode and go second sine, what am I finding, 1/4? 1 divided by 4, or 0.25. Ah, look at that, it even is 0.253. Okay, so that's what it is. Now to show the relationship, what I can do is draw myself a little XY. Here's a triangle. Here would be theta. Here is the opposite. Here's the hypotenuse. And so for the cosecant, that's telling me that my hypotenuse is 4 and the opposite is 1, which makes sense. And the sine of that would be the same thing. That would be showing you the relationship between the two. All right, now this bottom part is something you should have done last year. Hopefully you guys had to fill out that unit circle. And we want to be able to find the radian measures of your special triangle angles. So 0 degrees is going to be 0 radians without the degree sign. 30, so always think, you can think of it this way, 180 divided by what is 30? So 180, which is pi, because they're equivalent, divided by 6 is 30 degrees. 45 is going to be 180 divided by 4. 60 is going to be 180 divided by 3. 90 is 180 divided by 2. 180 is equivalent to pi. 270 goes a bit beyond pi, so that's going to be our 3 pi over 2, because you go another 90 degrees. And 360 is equivalent to 2 pi. So you guys are going to want to get comfortable with those. But you should have by now already filled out your unit circle as well. So this should just be a little reinforcement. All right, so exact value. This is going to be important when you're solving a problem and we ask for the exact value. That means you're not giving us any decimals, you're not touching any calculator, you're just leaving pi as pi. You can also not rationalize denominators. Now that you're in pre-calc, I don't believe you should have to rationalize the denominator. You can if you want, if it makes you feel comfortable, but you don't have to. So if I want to find the exact value of secant, pi over 6, well, pi over 6, remember, is a 30-degree angle. So in a 30-degree, 30, 60, 90 right triangle, this side is your 1, this is your 2, this side is your root 3. So the exact value for secant of 30 degrees, secant represents the hypotenuse over the adjacent, because it's the reciprocal to cosine. So this would equal 2 over rad 3. As far as I'm concerned, you can leave it like that. Now, if you want to write that as 2 rad 3 over 3, that's fine. That's on you. Now, if cotangent is 2/3, what is the tangent? Again, trying to emphasize the reciprocal functions. What is the reciprocal is the ratio on the triangle. So this would be 3 halves. And then we have here inverse cotant 2/3 would be the inverse tan of 3 halves. That's why we do that. In order to use our calculator, you have to take the ratio of the sides of the triangle when you are using your reciprocal functions. Okay, so this is, I don't know if this is going to make sense, but you have the sine of an argument, that's your, like your angle, equals a ratio. All right, so the argument here might be degrees, it might be radians. So the argument of your trig is the degree or the radians. The answer is a ratio for the sides of the triangle. Ratio of sides of a triangle. On the other hand, if I do an inverse trig, what goes here is the ratio of the triangle sides, and that's going to equal degrees or radians, depending on what is required. This is actually really important to keep straight, okay? Because often people get them mixed up, and then that kind of shows they don't know what they're doing. All right, that was 6-4.